how savvy buyers are beating this market.
Selling your home isn't as hard as it may seem. Would you call Bryan Crawford at the New Mexico Dream House team?
Hi, this is Bryan Crawford with New Mexico Dream House at Keller Williams. For years now, for 2 years now, I keep hearing, you know, Bryan, I would sell my house in a heartbeat if you could just find me another house. If you could just find me that next level house, I would sell this house. We had a big inventory issue. And about 3 months ago, the Federal Reserve sent shockwaves through the real estate world when they raised interest rates by a half point for the first time in 22 years. And so what happened is a lot of buyers, they sat down. They just said, you know what, I'm gonna wait until interest rates settle down. I'm gonna wait until they go back down. And the reality of it is, if you look at historical rates, it's unlikely that we'll ever see interest rates in the 2s and 3s again. And so the buyers that stayed in the market and started buying, they had a big advantage. So all of a sudden, the stats in our MLS went from selling at almost 100% of original list price down to 97% of original list price. So the buyers who were savvy enough to step into the market were dealing with less multiple offers and much more likely to be able to attain the house that they wanted. So that means they're competing with less people, they're more likely to pay at list price or maybe even a little bit lower than list price. So savvy buyers took huge advantage of it. There's a couple ways that you can avoid the consequences of a large interest rate. One of those is by doing bi-monthly payments. Yeah, if you have a payment of $3,000 a month, pay it twice a month at $1,500. Just by going to bi-monthly payments, you could reduce from a 30-year mortgage all the way down to a 23-year mortgage because of the way that interest accrues. The other thing that you can do, you can pay additional principal payments. Store up one extra payment annually, and even at 5.5%, you're going to pay less over the life of the loan in interest than you would have if you had a 3% interest rate. So savvy buyers are entering into the market. Now, perhaps you want to go buy one of those high-end houses. Maybe you're jumping from a $400,000 house to an $800,000 house. Here's the beauty is that over the last 2 years, if you haven't cashed out the equity in your home, more than likely you have 25% equity that you didn't have before, and you can take that cash, roll it into the next house, start doing bi-monthly payments with an extra payment each month, not suffer the consequences of higher interest rates, and take advantage of that higher end market that stopped moving as fast as it was. So you get more bang for your buck. The converse is true as well. If you've got a 5,000 square foot house and you're planning on downsizing, right now is a great time to do it because there are still buyers in that price range. And yet, because of the inventory in that range, you might take a little bit less money for your house than you would have 6 months ago. But with interest rates the way they are, they don't affect you. If you're in an $800,000 house, perhaps you can sell that, take the equity from that house, and pay cash for a lesser house as you're downsizing. So savvy buyers are taking advantage of this market in a couple ways. Bi-monthly payments, extra principal payments, and then taking the cash out of their house and downsizing. So don't be left out on the field. Interest rates more than likely will not be coming down. And house prices, I don't have a crystal ball, but likely they're going to continue to climb. They've continued to climb for the last 2 months, even though interest rates have gone up from 3.1% in January to about 5.5% today when I checked. So savvy buyers are taking advantage of this market, and you should too.